Greetings, good day, hi. I hope you're well. I hope you are well. It is Odessa, Womb Wellness Mentor. I help women to increase their vitality and reduce pain, stagnation that one might experience with abnormal cycles, infertility, fibroids, PCOS, and these kinds of things. Today, I wanted to talk with you all about this program that I have launched. It is called Wisdom For Hormonal Health. And within this 7-week program, the work that I'm doing with women is helping them to establish a routine, a program, so they can integrate levels of awareness into their everyday living, so they can understand what the problem is, how the problem started, what they've been using, how they can move the needle, how they communicate, how they can communicate with their primary caregivers, how they can be supported, in developing a lifelong practice to help to maintain, reduce, and eliminate the pain and symptoms that you feel with discomfort that comes with hormonal and reproductive health problems. So this was birthed out of the work I've done with women, specifically over the last 6 years. I've been doing this work about 18 years, but specifically over the last 6 years, where I've delved into this work with women and, seeing that the combination of that awareness that leads us into assessing our optimal environment, like what is working for us, what is not working for us, and what are the steps after that we can implement, or the tools. What do we need, right? Because we're all looking and searching for the answers. And so picking up these tools and teaching them and integrating them into the work, giving them the ability to cultivate their own wellness by optimizing their environment has been a game changer when it comes to how best to support women, folks, people on their journey to hormonal healing, right? Hormonal health, hormonal wellness. And so, the idea of feminine freedom and peaceful periods is born from, just the discomfort that I myself have gone through, but they have repeatedly spoken about, like, how can I, do this work? How do I integrate this work? You've taught the tools, and I see how and where I can put the pieces together. But, the next phase was, how can I maintain this practice, with touch-based points? And so all of these legs of the journey began to develop and come together to be able to create the environment where women can gather, right? And just, put your experiences into a container that is known to nourish and support and transform and transmute and elevate and expand, whatever your growth path is, in this life, on this journey. And so, women need to process, a lot based off of the experience of carrying a womb. It's magnetic in nature, and, it maintains memory, from the very beginning. It's just that one cell that continues to, duplicate itself, that one cell, so that the memory of every experience lives within every one, but the connection of the womb is, it's very particular. And so because of how women are experiencing life today and now, and because of how our understanding of healing, our understanding of rhythm, our understanding of beingness is not it's not in harmony, and it's not in tune, in a way that supports, our rejuvenating periods, the need to have those rejuvenating periods. So that coming together and that gathering was the last piece of the puzzle, bringing in how can, we create a space for women to, address their healing needs, guide them through a step-by-step process, create an environment for them to have one-to-one curated time with me, and also, an environment where they are not the only people, in a group setting walking through the process of maintaining a new rhythm, so that they can establish healthier standards, so that they can establish healthier patterns, healthier rhythms, and watch the changes in their mindset, in their emotional stability, in their hormones, and within how their cycles are manifesting, if they manifest regular or not, abnormal, normal, and then as well as being able to, for those who have experienced miscarriages, maintain pregnancies and increase your chances of conceiving, right? So this work specifically that I have been developing and that I've been doing with women is for those who are usually fed up, right? You have gone through the gauntlet, usually, of the tests, the appointments, the obsessive compulsive behavior with sanitary napkins, and where are we going and how long are we going to be gone, and all these different kinds of things. Do I have pain meds? You know what I mean? Like, when is my next cycle coming? Like, just the kinds of frustrations that you're feeling. Like, am I going to have to take the day off from work because I'm not able to maintain my health and my wellness enough to go in, like upset because you're not able to relate to your family members in particular ways, or in healthier ways, because your mood swings are establishing the level of communication as opposed to heartfelt and clear connections, right? So these are some of the women who do this kind of work that I'm doing, and they want results, they want changes, right? They've gone to the appointments and hear that there isn't anything else that can be done, but they've heard potentially maybe, or they feel as though maybe, or women who know that their body is a priority, or it has arrived at that moment of priority, or they've recognized the sacredness and the sanctity of maintaining themselves, or they've tried to do some of the work on their own and have seen some results, but need that direction and that push and more of the accountability, right? These are the kinds of people who this work and this program is for. And people who are results driven, more importantly, out of everything. You are interested in seeing the needle move, right? You've been experiencing 11 on 10 pain from cysts that are giving you excruciating experiences, you need to not experience that anymore. You know what I mean? You've got to, move on in life and establish newer, what's the word? Empires, newer, ideas, newer thoughts, newer projects, you know what I mean? And you want to get this under control, right? So knowing that you're not afraid to invest your time into healing, you know what I mean? Knowing that this is something you are going to be able to implement for the long term. This isn't something that's a quick fix, And so this leads me to who this work is not for. This work is not for people who need a remedy right now, right? This work is not for people, women, folk who, don't want to spend, a set amount of time focusing on themselves, because they've got other things to do, other people, to take care of, which I completely understand, right? I've got, 4 children myself, but the thing about it is, it all comes back to an excuse, right? Because if you're not a priority, you're not a priority. And this work is not for you. If you're not able to carve out that time, if you're not able to carve out that budget, if you're not able to carve out that commitment, to what you want for yourself, right? And it's not for women who don't want to do the work. Now, this work, this healing work that we do, specifically when we're working with natural medicine. Okay, let me just kind of create a visual here. When you're working with Occidental medicine, when you're working with allopathic medicine and you're going to the doctors and you're working with the institutions, you're getting results right now, right? Because there's a level of suppression, there's a regulation that happens within the body, there is, which gives us a more stable, experience of life, if you want to call it that, but it doesn't mean that we've addressed the root problem, right? This is, what the argument always comes back to. Now, you are able to maintain your regular life when you are taking regular medication, and so you can eat the foods and drink the drinks and do all the things and think the thinks and be the bees. You're able to do all of that. Now the thing is, when you're working with natural medicine, it takes time, right? Because we're looking at the body and the being on an emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual level. And so what we understand is that when we have it in the physical body, when we have an illness in the physical body, there is also illness on the emotional body, or an imbalance, or illness and an imbalance on the mental and the spiritual, right? And so what happens is, when you're walking the natural path of healing, you are required to look at and unravel knots in different areas of your life that are causing you tension. And if you arrive at a block, if you arrive at a challenge that you are not prepared or you don't want to go over because it requires you to come out of your level of comfort, right? It requires you to expand, right? Then you're not going to reap the benefits of natural medicine, because you will stop, right? Because you want to feel better so you can live your life right now, but you don't want to rock the boat. And so in this level of commitment, of okay, I'm going to use this womb wisdom, right, to establish a different rhythm and tone, right, within my hormonal, within my endocrine system, right, within my emotional, physical, mental. This is really profound stuff, and it connects us, to the womb. It connects us to the lineages. This is very, very profound stuff. It connects us to the planet. Like I'm just bringing it and giving it as it is, right? Like this is the depth of the work that we do, and in this program and with healing work. And if you're not prepared, right, to walk with that, right, and go deeper into that, then the kind of results that you're looking for, you'll stop yourself from getting because you're not prepared to do that. You only came for this piece, right? So when someone works with me in the program, when someone works with me in one-to-one, the first thing that we do is create that environment for assessing, right? For mapping out and assessing your multi-dimensional, your multi-layered, your multi-experiential, assessment, right? Your health intake, your history, and so we're looking at energetically what's happening. We're looking at nutritionally what's happening. We're looking at, we're going into different corners and different layers, right, to be able to understand how we can bring those areas that are out of tone and out of tune, right, back into rhythm and in alignment, right? And so we tweak from understanding not just directly, but how everything and every piece comes together, right? So this is how that process begins. So you receive assessments, information that helps me to guide your process. You also receive a workbook that helps to inform the foundation of what Womb Wisdom for Hormonal Health will entail, what the program will encompass, right? And so we walk through the protocols of how the program will increase your capacity to receive and hold medicine, healing, a higher vibration, how you can release the emotional and mental constraints that come with apprehension and pain and discomfort and all these things that happen when you're experiencing chronic or acute illness, and specifically as it relates to cysts and fibroids and endometriosis and what I do. And so from there we begin the journey. And through that process, we then look at optimizing your environment. We've moved into phase 2. And in phase 2, this is where we begin to reveal the methods that are used to help you to structure your patterns, your new patterns, based off of how you understand your own experience, right? And so, because it's about cultivating your own wellness. And so each week we look at ways to optimize internally and externally and understand how the two are integrated together, right? And through that piece, we walk through detoxing, we walk through cleansing, we walk through releasing incomplete relationships, we walk through yoni steaming, we walk through herbs, we walk through food and mood, we walk through womb wisdom. Like, what does that look like? In my lives, I've had many conversations about how society has pressured the feminine energy and how the feminine energy is starting to respond, and we're seeing it negatively through the illnesses that are coming up as chronic in women. We're also seeing it in the kind of confusion that women have in terms of forcing themselves and not moving with their natural rhythms. And then we're also seeing it in, the rise of the feminine just kind of coming back and wanting to establish itself. And so we go deeper into that, especially in phase 3, where we introduce the actual ashe, give thanks for the love, where we actually begin to integrate practices that will help to calm your mind and center your mind and connect to your physical body, right, through breathing, not just okay, the simple meditation, but really work through getting your physical awareness alive. And how does that look? Well, my experience as a professional African dancer, as a healer for X amount of years, the combination of the two together give me a particular kind of sensitivity that can help to lead you through understanding how to connect to the multiple layers of consciousness to be able to establish deeper rhythms, right? And so we follow, I will walk you through patterns, walk you through the yoni steaming sessions together, gathering together as women. Your cameras don't have to be on, but you can listen audibly, as you also have one-to-one time, right? But just kind of describing to you the process that we go through in that program, in that phase of the program, to be able to give you the experience of how to integrate the work, right, while uniquely tailoring your healing program, your health and wellness program, your nutritional program, your, really helping you to hone in and create the path that works best for you, right? So you can cultivate your own reproductive wellness, your own healing, your own awareness, cultivate your own mind, your own womb, So that's really what this work is about. It's about getting you to understand your cyclical nature, through detail, understanding of your multiple layers of wellness and illness that create different layers of stagnation, right? And helping you to expand and experience more feminine freedom and more peaceful periods, and increase the quality of your cells, because your mind is able to raise your vibration, because you understand your natural rhythm, right? Because you can eat the foods that are helpful to you. And whereas this work has been extremely life-changing, and I have had complete turnarounds for clients, every single person who has come through, because some people live with chronic conditions, and I need to make sure and put this in there, this work does increase the quality of care that you give yourself, and does change and does move the needle for you, okay, when you have the proper integration of the work, okay? So the decision, the timeline, and the details, if you are interested in finding out more about Womb Wisdom for Hormonal Health, please make sure to go to the link in my bio if you're on Instagram, and click on the link below if you're on Facebook, and make sure to read through the application and connect with me to have a next step call, and we can come together and have that discussion to see if this program is a fit for you. Doors close for enrollment on the 13th of November, the 14th of November, and we will begin our first session on the 22nd of November. So you all have until the 14th of November to connect with me and let me know if this is something that you want to participate in, something that you want to join in, to be able to increase your wellness, to connect to your health and wellness on a deeper level, and establish new rhythms, new habits, reduce that pain and frustration that you feel, increase your energy and vitality. So just go ahead, book a next step call if this is something that you feel called to do, and share with anyone you think can benefit from this information. So I thank you all so much for joining me, and we will be in touch again soon. Take care and be well.